Hey y'all, there is so much that's been on my mind, and one of the things that I wanted to do when I created this channel was just to kind of express some things that were on my mind. And as I stated, I just don't believe I'm in isolation with my thoughts alone. Whew, it's been a whirlwind. These past 2 weeks, it's like you hear that a storm or some issue is coming, and then when it finally hits and you're thinking, oh, it's not going to be that bad. Oh, they're saying, I live in an area where there's hurricanes, and so, oh, category 1, category 2, category 3, and then sometimes a category 1 can cause as much damage as a 4 or 5. It really depends on various factors. Well, I have to really say, I knew it was going to be bad. I believed everything he said. I believed in the mindsets, yes, of his minions and followers, or because they were so passionate and they were true believers. So I think it's very strange that so many folks in the media, oh, I just didn't think, oh, and they just giving it all of this. I don't even want to say they're giving it all of this credence or energy, or because it's way bigger than that. It's almost like a frenzy. They're just so energized, and the cadence in their voices when reporting or when at these so-called press conferences, and then the way they ask the questions. It's like, yes, we're going to have a lot to talk about for these 4 years, so we're going to be good. Yeah, because so much of all of this, the underreporting of successes and the overreporting of foolishness, it lets you really know what the traditional corporate media, what they're really about. They want to report that foolishness. So here we are. We have all of these things going on. We have um, all of these out of control individuals. And those people who knew what was going to happen are starting to feel kind of like helpless, like, what are you going to do? Somebody got to say something. Somebody has to do something. And actually, all of this conversation and all of this stuff about the tariffs and all of these things. Y'all remember the Wizard of Oz? You remember how he was behind that curtain, just doing all this stuff, and they thought he was so powerful and so mighty, but he really wasn't. He was a fraud. He was a shyster. He was a peddler of lies. But the people's minds were so enamored and so in awe of this great wizard and his capacities and his propensities, until it's like he has the answer. We got to get there. He has the answer. He has the answer. When all along, everything was on the inside of them. So, for those of us who knew he was not fabricating, he really is behind this curtain, pulling strings, frightening people, giving people powers that they really don't have. So it's going to be incumbent upon each and every person who has not bowed their knee to this cult to really realize that everything they need is really either on the inside of them or someone within their personal circle, community, or maybe not even a personal circle. You might need to find some new circles. But the bottom line is, this man is a fraud. He's a shyster. And he surrounded himself with people who believe he's the Almighty Oz, the wizard. But the part that has it really, really, really complicated this go round is that over 80% of the people that were responsible for this fiasco are Christians. Yeah. They love Jesus. And they're doing the right thing. And they're serving God. And they're pleasing the Lord. But I am trying to figure out the version of the Bible that they read, because it's one that I'm not familiar with. And I consider myself to be fairly astute in biblical studies. And white Christian nationalism is an epidemic. Yep. In this country. Now some people say, oh, how you gonna love say you know the Bible. And okay, yes, and I do love Jesus. I love God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, okay? But I understand the teachings of Jesus. I understand the positions that he took for the persons in the communities that were frowned upon. You remember this woman was in adultery? Remember that story in the Gospels? And they were ready to stone her. Jesus stepped up and he said, well, you know, the person who's without sin, you cast the first stone. What about the woman he met by the well? She was, living like, say shacked up, in a relate. She was not married. And she acknowledged that she wasn't married to the man she was living with. What about the leper? Somebody who had a contagious disease. What about all those people that were hungry, that were sick? How is it that they are so far removed from this Jesus of the gospel till they have created a fabrication of a Jesus that does not exist? They have created instances within the founding fathers. Now, let's not even go there. Everybody had, yes, they may have had a role, but let's be real. Most of these people, we're not going to even deal with that today. But most of you all will know the history of what type of men these really were. And most of us know how it came to be that most people of European descent even came to what we call today the United States, but yet it's their country. They're taking their country back. They're making America great again, so forth and so on. It's all a lie. And it is imperative that those of us who really know the truth of what he was going to do, of what Christianity is, of what true community is, what loving thy neighbor is, all of us who know those components it's incumbent upon us to not be afraid, to know that everything we need, we have on the inside of us. We have knowledge, we have capacities, we have abilities. There is no shortage operating on the inside of any of us. And so, fear not. And we all have heard the acronym for fear is false evidence is appearing real. It's still true. We have to keep our focus and not be distracted, because all of this stuff, see all this stuff with these tariffs, watch this. Why everybody's talking about the tariff, the tariff, the tariff. Oh, this is going to go up, that's going to go up. You must know that is a big distraction. That's that wizard behind that curtain pulling all those switches and, the machine and everything. That's because the real thing they're doing, where everybody's talking about the tariffs, they're over there writing laws that's going to impact voter suppression, which is the real name of the game. In voter suppression and continuously filling the bank accounts of billionaires. There's nothing wrong with being a billionaire. But my God, if you're blessed to be a billionaire, why you have to connect with the knucklehead? Well, I mean, for what? Why don't you do something good with your money? Why are you even engaging with this individual? Why are you allowing him to hold you hostage? Believe me, it's a big, 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 big scheme. There's a story behind the story. And while we looking over here at this shiny thing, oh, look what he doing, look what he doing. What's really being done is not even aware to most individuals. This thing has to be dealt with at a much different level. And we're going to talk about that another time. So I ask that you like my channel, subscribe, leave a comment. Now, if it's something way off, I'm going to delete it, okay? But at the same time, I'll be back sharing more of what my thoughts are. And if you have something that you want to know my thoughts about, hey, put it in a comment. And we'll talk about it next time. Take care.